Good morning, children. It's lovely to be back in school with Open the Book. It's been such a long time since we had an Open the Book assembly that I was wondering whether you've remembered my name. Oh dear, I'm fading away. That's better. I'm back. Did you remember my name? I'm called Brian, and I'm going to be leading this Open the Book assembly today. As usual, I think we will start by singing together our special Open the Book song. The words will be on the screen and Pat will do the actions to the words. And if you can remember them, you can do them as well. So get ready and here we go. Open the book. Open the book. Open the book and see. The Bible is the book, so come on, take a look. It's fun to turn the page, find out what God's words say. So let's all open the book. Open the book. Open the book and see. Open the book. Open the book. Open the book and see. Do you remember what our last Open the Book story, way back in March, was all about? It was about Joshua and how he did what God wanted him to, even though it seemed silly. Joshua marched his army up to the huge thick walls around the city of Jericho. Then they all blew loudly on their trumpets, and an amazing thing happened. The walls of the city came crashing down, and the people of Israel sang and danced because they knew God hadn't let them down. Now I'm going to begin today's story with a question. Do you ever wake up during the night? And if you do you have a drink of water and go back to sleep? Or do you wake up someone else? Well, in our story today, which happened about 300 years after the walls of Jericho came crashing down, there is a little boy called Samuel who keeps waking up. Samuel lives in the temple where Eli is the priest. Samuel's job is to help Eli look after the temple, not keep waking him up. So let's open the book at the story called Samuel Hears a Voice.
Now that God's people were living in their own land, there were so many things he wanted to tell them. How to be happy, how to take care of each other, how to protect themselves from their enemies. So God decided to choose someone to speak for him. Someone he could talk to, who would then go and talk to the people. Someone called a prophet. God looked and looked all over the land of Israel, eager to pick up just the right person. And finally, he found him in the village of Shiloh. in the temple where Eli the priest lived. A little boy,
Samuel,
God called one night.
Samuel, I want to talk with you.
Samuel sat up and rubbed his sleepy eyes. He'd never heard God's voice before, and he thought that old Eli was calling him. Samuel stumbled into Eli's room to see what he wanted, but Eli just shooed him back to bed.
Samuel,
God called again.
Samuel, listen.
Samuel was confused this time and a little scared. So he crept back into Eli's room. Yawned the old priest.
I told you, boy. I didn't call you. Now off to bed.
Samuel didn't know what to think as he crawled under his covers. But when God called
Samuel, Samuel,
for the third time, he knew what to do. He dashed back to Eli just as fast as he could.
Samuel, if either of us is going to get any sleep tonight, we need to find out who's calling you. And I have an idea who it might be. So the next time you hear that voice, I don't want you to come running in here. Instead, I want you to say, "Speak, Lord, and I will listen."
Samuel's eyes opened wide.
You mean it's God who's calling me?
Do as I tell you, and we'll find out.
So Samuel went back to bed. God called his name again.
Samuel, Samuel.
Speak, Lord, and I will listen.
This time Samuel stayed there and listened to God, and his eyes opened wide with wonder. And from that moment until Samuel was himself an old man, God talked to Samuel, giving him messages to pass on to the people. And just like the first time, God's messages never failed to leave him wide-eyed with wonder.
Samuel grew up to become the priest at the temple. He worshipped and listened to God and always tried to do what was right.
What a wonderful story. Samuel was called a prophet. Can anyone remember what a prophet was? The story explained it like this. Someone who God chose to speak for him. Someone he could talk to, who would then go and talk to the people and pass on his messages. There are many prophets in the Bible, and Samuel was one of the first. Now we're going to have a quiet moment for reflection. And I want you to close your eyes and imagine what God's voice might have sounded like to Samuel. Do you think it was very loud and booming? Or was it very soft and gentle? Now I'm going to say a prayer. And if you want to make it your prayer, say Amen at the end after me. So close your eyes again. Dear God, thank you for talking to Samuel, even though he was a little boy. Help us to remember that you talk to everybody, children and grown-ups. Please help us to listen to you today. Amen. Now we're going to finish Open the Book today with a little song. It's a song about Samuel. And the tune to this song is an old nursery rhyme called Rockabye Baby. I'm sure some of your teachers will remember it. We're going to play it through twice, and the second time, why don't you sing along to it? So, here we go. We'll play the song again. Why not sing along this time? Did you enjoy Samuel's song? We hope you also enjoyed our Open the Book story today. And we hope to send you our next story soon. It will be called David the Giant Killer. So, thank you for having us in your school today, and we hope to see you again soon.